Meanwhile, Moscow has dismissed an army commander after he criticised the military leadership for failing troops in Ukraine. Major-General Ivan Popov commanded the 58th Combined Arms Army in Ukraine's Zaporizhia region. For more on this story, let's bring in Yulia Shapvalova, who's in Moscow. Yulia, what more can you tell us about why Popov was fired?
Well, it's quite unprecedented, really, that the dispute about problems in the Russian army is gaining more and more popularity here. We understand that Major General Ivan Popov, a high-ranking military commander, released an audio appeal to the military, claiming that he had been dismissed from his post for criticizing the Ministry of Defense and reporting problems in the army. He was the commander of the 58th Combined Arms Army, as you said, involved in the heavy fighting in the southern Zaporizhia front. He was considered one of the most senior generals participating in the Russian-Ukrainian conflict. According to Popov, he very harshly outlined all the problematic issues in the Russian army. He said he told the leadership about the absence of counter-battery combat, mass deaths and injuries of soldiers from the Ukrainian artillery. He focused, quote, on the most important tragedy of modern warfare. Allegedly, he proposed to rotate the Russian units on the front line. Some Telegram channels also write that the head of the General Staff, Valery, Gerasimov, accused Popov of alarmism and blackmailing the top leadership. So according to Popov, now he's waiting for his future fate, and there are reports that Lieutenant General Denis Lyamin has taken over the leadership of the 58th Army. It's interesting also that Popov's address was distributed by State Duma Deputy Andrei Gurulov, who also was a commander of the 58th Army in the past.
Yulia, what's going on inside the Russian military? Why has there been so much instability?
Well, it's a good question, really, but everyone has to come up to their own conclusion. We understand just earlier we reported about reports from the chairman of the Lower House of Parliament, Andrei Katsapolov, about General Surovikin, that General Surovikin, who was actually involved, allegedly was involved in the failed military rebellion led by Yevgeny Prigozhin, that General Surovikin now having some rest and is not available. Telegram channels also wrote that he could be in the North Caucasus. Surovikin, commander of the airspace forces and deputy head of the general staff of the Russian army, has not appeared in public for 2 weeks since the Wagner Group armed rebellion. And right now, we have no decent information about his whereabouts. So obviously, all I can say now that all those generals continue being, continue support the military operation in Ukraine, but none of them at the moment says anything about the end of the military operation.
All right. Thanks so much, Yulia Shapvalova in Moscow for us.